40 years after the War of Words. 30 years after the death of the Agathonids. 23 years after the death of Clydesdale. 22 years and 11 months after the trial of Rodeo. Several hours before the death of Reason's rattling and horse. Hear thee, make way for the God of the heads, the head of the household, the bridge of habits, he who cannot be photographed, Lord of the table, purveyor of the deflowered, the great one. I am known by many names, but I'd like you to call me by my personal name, Mustafio. Do not speak harshly of me, for I am of all kings, though there not be some truth to your words, for to rip out your heathen tongue with my royal plans will not please thee. Enough, certainly, not enough to clear these offenses, but will at least clear my name by virtue of the Lord of laws, my commandments. So put down those fancy self-help books, my son. I am the only one who can help you now. For what I say to you tonight is the infallible word of a God, a transcript of a tablet preserved in heaven. For one day I come to you through the night and say, recite, but you will still be lost in the illusion. You may reply what shall be recited, Mustafio, and I will repeat this order only 3 times. So verily I say to you, transcribe these words unto palm leaves, stones, any material that comes to hand. So saith the God of heads, and are given unto him, therefore I am justified, I, Mustafio. I'm sorry, there's no more spicy chicken. Only the regular chicken. Would you like regular chicken? I'm closing now, it's all I have left. You want corn and potato with that? Sorry, I have no more corn, just potato. I give you 2 potatoes. Is something up? We've been trying to get you to sleep for some time now, with little success. I know it. Someone had seen me. Someone had squelched. Did you squelch on me? Are you the tattletale? You know what we used to call the tattletale. We used to call the Vink. That Vink. Let's go. Still few people have ever been to Neptune. It's a secret room just down the hall. Just a few people. And they take with them just a few trinkets. An overnight bag. But it's not necessary since because you're not going anyway. If I find you are sitting up in bed with the light off, recalling your happy voyage in every detail, will you tell all your friends to come visit? Me, Mustafio. I cannot get you to hold my hand, but it's all right. We'll take a walk together, you'll see. Maybe you like to hold my hand later. We'll see. We'll see. Can I call you Wallace? Well then, Wallace. I thought you wanted me to clean your desk. I find in your desk hot pepper candy that you got at the joke store. I wasn't going to give it back to you, Wallace. But I could not help myself when you offered. When you offered to pay, I guess get carried away. What's the matter? Your mouth hurt? You learned the hard way, Wallace. Do not search for me outside of you. I can only be found within you. For my only abode is in you. But I have found that you have filled my abode and my commode with millions of strangers. And I cannot enter, for I am quite bashful, really, of strangers. I only hope I can do the same for you someday. What you now, 10, 11, what's wrong? Your dad make you jog again this morning, huh? I knew it. So heed my words. Unless you empty my cabot of these millions of stinking little turds you have filled it with, you'll never find them. Just who are these strangers? They are your age-old desires, your thoughts, your wants. The babysitter. You're puny, and you can't be original anymore. All that uranium, and you've been lost. Can't read a magazine unless you've heard it before. They are but the strangers to me. It shows me you're still incomplete and fundamentally foreign to me. Put down the alabaster babysitter and your goddamn mystery and take my hand and all will be self-sufficient and wanting in nothing. Only then will you see me, and only then will you realize me. I've watched too many bowlers whose determination to knock down the pins of fate was less than that of the pins of habit. To keep them standing, what will you give? Will you give up an old habit? The old habit of, let's say, drinking coffee. You have mental images, and they become clear-cut. Thinking of these items one by one in order. Thinking causes time and space to fall flat. And all of that, stop this thinking, though surrendering to me, and merge thyself in the pure consciousness. Where there is no thinking, there is no doing. Then there is only me, and only I can offer you complete absolution. Remember, only through constant and intense practice of surrendering to me, you can become waveless, thought-free. The waveless aspirant helps me move more than the man on the platform. Ordinary people, unlike yourself, can hardly grasp the point. When you are waveless, you actually permeate and pervade every atom of my being, purifying and electrifying the whole world with more of my presence. I wish to be clearly and positively understood here. And some of these things I shall have more to say of as I proceed with this television special. There is an old saying, when I am known, then all is known. And how true that really is. But all the more one may become convinced that such a something exists and might be found through these who have known me and where to look for me. Fools that feel that my doors were capable or willing to fly open in response to the right knock. The secret code, shave and a haircut, 2 bits, that kind of thing, you know. There is no talismanic right knock. The energy that you waste in mere thinking, talking or writing about worldly matters is like steam which escapes through the whistle of the railway engine. The whistle makes a noise. It's interesting if you like that sort of thing. But it cannot drive engine for me. No amount of whistling or knocking can move me forward. The steam has to correlate and be harnessed correctly, and this applies particularly to those who have been irregular in their practice. It does not require a large eye to see the mountain. The reason is that though the eye is small, my soul, which has always pervaded your puny consciousness, is greater and vaster than all the things perceived. In fact, I am so great that I am now, including all the objects, however large and luminous, within myself. For it is not so much that you are within my vastness, as thy vastness is within you. They say that nature abhors a vacuum. This may be so. A vacuum is an unnatural situation, like lighting. If you find yourself in an elevator, you might go and say, "Hi, buddy, Ain't seen you for a while. Nice to see you. And you shake hands. Your arm is the material plane diagram of a piece of energy that goes back and forth between you and me. If somebody comes up and pats my bottom, their arm is just the visible spark of the lightning exchange of the energy. So if a fellow writes me and he says he has a trouble, he finds himself looking at the ladies' bottoms. Well, most of the time your eye is the pointer with which you mark where your intention is. My message is that they know it because they do it. Now that's the real energy. You can have a large battery and a full battery, and you could pull down a trickle between charge them. Now if everyone was all friends and introduced to one another in the elevator, it would be one sort of thing. Now let's talk turkey. All this is very offensive to my divine sensibilities. Now offending other people is one thing. Offending me is quite another. There is this chain that seems like a steel chain around you. Because if you offend me, and I pull hard on the chain to let you know, which is only to help you help me, how do you get out of it? By trying to blow my mind? Get serious. The only way is through a piece of magic. Black magic, the black magic of my forgiveness. I know you all make the mistakes. And the blame you put on yourself is heavier than the chains I have around your neck. And because I know of this, I forgive you. And know that my forgiveness is speedy and sure. I can forgive like no other. And the magic beans that fall from the sky when I forgive you, this is your black moon. If you dig it, baby, you come out redeemed, not having forgotten that you did something dumb, which is expected. Never that it's useful to know that you did something dumb. And the very fact that redemption can be dumb, that itself is grace. For he who understands the place about no dust, no mirror, and no mind is another way of saying that I am made up of non-clinging particles, like a cookie. The natural building block of the universe, it is a cookie. It's in the cellular relationship, crystalline relationship, atomic relationship, mathematical relationship, feeding my bottom in the elevator. It's the basic building block of the whole thing. The basic block is not square, it's round, like a cookie. Here's another piece for you to chew on. Ever hear the one about how you are related to everybody? Here you are through me. I give you 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, 64 great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, 128, 256, 512, 1002. That's a whole lot of grandparents. You know what I'm saying? It goes on like that, and your relatives is sending this big curve upward towards me. And I hope that for your sake, that you appreciate all I have given you. And yours. This is putrid miracle of television. But I'll tell you, it's good to be back in New York. I never thought I'd be standing in the middle of New Zealand. But there I was, talking to a couple of devotees wearing loincloths, a nice touch. I might add, after relinquishing all their worldly possessions to my person, and I find myself talking of fuel injection, catalytic converters and whatnot, as I often do. But I call for maid service and I do not hear them, for they are preoccupied with their own voice. Service only to themselves. Remember, When someone comes to the emergency road mechanic and says, my battery is dead and my car won't start, the road service mechanic doesn't immediately assume that the battery is dead. Even though he is told the battery is dead, because this is what you do. He doesn't assume that. He says, you check the terminals. Terminal? Yeah. The piece that is connected to the box. The piece connected to the piece in the middle. So there's the box, and in the middle, the thing. Now the road service mechanic knows that it is the nature of electricity, of motion, of the thing itself, because it is electrical magnetic. Or electrochemical, right? It goes through the box to the middle of the car. There is no service, okay, here we are. But then it started. What have you known when you know I am the unknown? Remember also that the denial of the simple fact. The simple fact being that it takes on many forms, and these you must learn to recognize and oppose without exception. Remember that and be warned, having given your creation. Could I not just as easily take it away from you, pal? Try and make me homeless, and know that you are at home. You're the son of a dairy farmer. You believe the father has denied him protection. What you experience when you deny the father the power, the personal power of limitation. You cannot be lessened with power, not by my will. Look to my power. Remember it is mine. Like an arrow it is mine. Position on this has little matter. You up, you down. The empire has fallen. But the empire is like a dinosaur that has just gotten his spitball behind the ear. We have to sit and wait a little while for the tail to notice. It's already fallen. Fallen like a long time ago. This is what I mean by making up the first of 20 metaphors. The one of the 20 metaphors in the old religion, the old map and the old chart. Navigating territory where you are and what you believe happens when you manifest your future right in front of you. You couldn't go anywhere. Too paranoid. You had to cease. The old religion tried to get in contact with you. A year and a half before this happened, you sent me letters, brochures, newspapers. How it will be. Get out in time. Get out in time to another place. Don't be so incredibly paranoid. I don't hold the answers. My secretary holds all the answers. She keeps them in a file. Don't even touch her. Don't even let me know how we got this. Just file it and watch. This goes on for a while. All this making me more rich and powerful with alternating current and direct current. Remember, a capacitator is almost if you had storage. A battery without the liquid. You tap it out all at once in one spark. So those letters and those brochures, they were a good thing. The thing is to modulate. Modulate and matriculate the wave. The wave, so it is the same as another wave. Somewhere in time and space, the waves all look the same, and the waves will resonate together like music. I was walking down the road the other day. I was suddenly stopped. I say, somebody touched me. And they said, what? I said, somebody around here touched me. You got into my juice. Who is that? Some lady in the crowd comes up to me and she says, I saw you walking past and I knew you had the holy energy. I need to be healed. I need to be healed right now. I touched you as you went past. Right? So I turn around to see my disciples and I say, see, I told you somebody touched me. I have the juice. I'm just a capacitator, moving along the crowd. The love is a facilitator, and this lady just taps out of me. She pulls out the juice, but it was all right. I got to keep the books, and wherever I went, it was okay. So it's toast. Let's make a toast. Hold the coffee. Oh, you say I got you to the quick. Then you know you have to back up and back up a little more. Play the game or step back. When I say 3, everyone, take a step backward. 1, 2, ha! I realize that's a hang-up for the umpty million people in the world who don't have the slightest idea what this all means. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. Without further ado, I will favor you with my enchanted vocal stylings. Okay. I was on the same call, up against the dashboard. You know, I came walking into it, and I found this thing. I stuck my head inside, and I turned on the flashlight. You know, I stuck my head in, and I turned on the flashlight. The thing I learned is that there is a difference between copying and coping. Having your head copped, I think what copying is really about is not coping. Like a doctor into a person, but that you'll get off your own personal tip and take a big trip. That's what I feel like when somebody comes up to me and says they want to join me. They don't really have to bear with me to know where I'm at. I just can know. I just can tell. It's one of the self-adventure things, especially when it comes to the fortunate who are on the periphery. Touch me, for I am as created as thee. The sounds of the world are still, the sights of the world disappear, and all the thoughts of the world ever held are wiped away forever with the idea of me. I am strength, I am light, if you remain as I have created you, and devote your life in every waking moment, contemplating my glory, my greatness, I will bring you complete salvation, in which you will remain throughout eternity. You know, good folks like you have come to me. You've tripped at the rock music concert. You come home with a specific piece of the lyrics, imprinted in your mind for months. Imprinted like him as sugar, because they took something out of the lyrics and assumed that it was about me. It was a seed to a secret clue. Perhaps, and because that's how you say the obsessive compulsive disorder that manifested itself in your brain as a piece of music that kept returning and returning. You go on in this condition. And what for? To be pure and clean. Because to be pure and clean, then you can soak it up. The ladies who don't have their children with them at the show, they have a higher history of making rules. That's the sort of twist I have to fate. I can claim the creator is me. I never had anything to do with it, and that's exactly my point. The reason is because of the duck. The duck imprinted on the basketball. It's a reasoned act to do the highest mode of survival. That's why what I'm trying to do is get inside you, beside the clutter of everything else besides me. My folks put such a tremendous value in running the lines and wires of communication, stretching you because you think stretching will make you completely open, stretching even more like so much chewing gum until the mind snaps. Only then can you truly imprint upon me, upon my greatness. the conflict of the illusion of disappearing disaster. When it is brought to truth, it seems only as long as it seems, as a war between conflicting truths. A movie, for instance. There is a blank screen before the film, and even after the film, the screen is blank. The reality is remembering the vanquisher of the illusion. It's laid mass real by defeat. You who are beloved by me are no such illusion. The stillness of your certainty of me and of yourself is home to both of you, who dwell as one and not apart. You like ice cream? Of course you do. What flavor do you favor? Remember, you get 2 scoops for being helpful. You get scoops for cleaning up each other's mess. I even give you a scoop for bringing in more people to see me. Poor people, rich people, it doesn't really matter. Because everyone has something to offer me, potentially speaking. And my purpose is to wring every drop of potential out of everyone and anyone from any background who approaches me. For the ultimate best interest is the ultimate interest of mine, of my survival. And your survival counts on the symbiotic kind of dance in which we feed on each other until your spirit prospers. And so does mine. There is no beginning or end, just me with the scoops, putting down with the scoops in front of you. And then you scoops in your lunchbox. It's the way it should be, which I'm glad to say that my work with you is finally bearing some fruition. Now, do you know what a pineapple is? What is it really? It means that I am disgusted with all of you. Don't be a penny pincher, or else I'll put the pressure on you to make a particular decision, which I know full well, all too well, of your utter lack of desire in the matter. Let me give you a very straightforward, easy silver platter, so you can call the tune while you eat with your very long ears. The way I see it, space is near collapse. A gravitational field of starship. In the same way, a rubber band ship could be curved by a heavy object placed upon it. This will happen before the absolution of the Huguenots in the year 64. What do you say? Do you know? To invite me over to your house. A little soda, perhaps, a little schmooze. Greet me at the door. It goes well. There appears to be a slight delay in the procurement of my beverage, this which I have been invited to receive. You notice that I glance at my watch, since you are fully aware of my busy schedule, and that I had to bounce the other aspirants, who shall remain nameless. They shall be rescheduled and have to wait until the end of the next week before I take off for a deserved vacation. A very deserved vacation, respite I might add. And to make amends, you may offer me a ketchup, which is not at all suitable to wet my whistle. As you know, so I insist that you take a Mitch. Mitch mine, the drink myself. I am growing a tendency, a net testy, while you attempt to suck and guzzle from the slow and increasingly agonizing drip, drinking the ketchup as fast as you can. But it's not fast at all. Out of the bottle. I tire of this amusement. the tapping of the foot. I request the turn of my hat. And the cane. I'll see myself to the door. It goes on this way. The truth of the matter is that you didn't have soda in the first place. You're quick to invite, but unfortunately not quick to relinquish the beverage that I so require. Spineless weakling, I invade the private airspace of your domicile. But you could not come right out and tell me you had no soda. Instead, you frustrate me. What small task do I ask? If I had not been there, if they had not said what they said, or did not say what they mean, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now, yes. Never forget that you too yourself may enjoy the success, the fruit of your labor, which may not last. So what should I offer for this? $30? Never. 30 I would offer a stranger. 40? Ha! That would be an insult. To you I offer $50, not a cent less. Go away! I want no dealings with you. You have failed me. I find this too difficult since you are boring, colossally demotivating. I am extremely disappointed. The deal is off. It's a dead letter. Dead and buried, dead luck, dead duck, drop dead over my dead body. I cut you dead like cancer. Get rid of the dead wood. Consider my proposal stone dead. As good as dead, because you have no concept of a deadline. Go ahead and make noise through your nose. This sound hole in your face. I wouldn't be caught dead, working some dead-end job with no prospect of advancement. Shit, what a day, what a glorious day. Just like you had started off selling BBs, door to door in my youth. And that, as you can imagine, quite a long time ago. These days, no one will answer the door. The up-and-comers who have otherwise done very well in the door-to-door BB game, it wasn't really because it made me realize I was destined for much more than this. Greatness, yay! Greatness! I knew at that moment. With a trunk full of brand new sparkling babies. That sunny, illustrious day, it did not matter if I sold another. My first major accomplishment, in terms of my newfound sense of generosity and sonority and supreme grandiosity. I decided I would be wise at this point to secure my stash. My stash for a rainy day. My ankles were bloody and very swollen from numerous dog bites, which I normally welcome. This would occur by happenstance, meaning that this would happen when I opened the gate. Open the gate! Every dog has a day. And soon the day will be mine. I'd like to see a rabid rabbi mongrel racing uncontrollably towards me. I'd base a suggestion on Ajwan Mazaktor. Insist, I fit in my pocket discarded. A bottle of seltzer, common household ammonia. Some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with the product. I'd let a dog whore me. I'd let the pretending paralyzation paralyze me with uncertainty. Back me up against the fence. Get the pooch right underneath the seltzer bottle. And I'd run out and buy the odors. In those days, no one locked their doors. I could walk in uninvited and sit myself down. No one is at the table. of circumstance. The kitchen table, I tell you, it was a relief to get out of the car in those days. This besides the point. It's nobody's business, really. I was awarded various regional citations, quarterly honors, trophies, gift certificates. A book distributor couldn't do enough to please me. I tell you that in this country, the business of in special secrets, the business of being in special secrets is bigger than a booger for the past, a fish to fry, as it were. It's that I knew without question that I had the prospect. Embarrassed to talk about the daily robbery of daylight. You can say something smart. Words fail you. Something very quickly saw the light of the day. And at the end of the day, no one gave you the time. A stranger. Better late than never, he said. I've heard it said more than once. Upon gazing upon my reflection in the rear view mirror, I approached the house. I was getting a bit long in the tooth, and no dentist would look for it. It was getting just a bit too late in the day for me. I began to realize that since my days are numbered, I don't know for sure what side of my bread is buttered on. It's even more important to keep a little extra on the side. It does not hurt to have a little extra on the side. I see many of you faithful devotees of mine. I'm looking at you now, all of you nice people. You're wandering through all manner of cubes and sandwiches, crawling resplendently into the numbers. To this I say to you, yea, right. Be the judge and the jury of the gentlemen. Please look up, look down, look all around, and don't forget, over your shoulder, I say it again, land ahoy! Corn. Now remember about the corn. It's not up to me to hide the chair. No oil of camphor can retard this kind of spoilage. Don't be an nincompoop. Remember, I am like a cheap drugstore kite. I only exist the way I do, like a personal burden that is consistently up your butt. I am here because of you. It's a little secret. I exist at the order to end your senses. You hang on to the reins of smell, desire. Where do you think you will get? I float back into the sky. I leave you despondent in an uninformed way. Yea, but merrily, grossly, you tell me what you like. You pull my coattail. You call me a squarehead. It is hopeless now. You've gone over the edge to a place of no return, a point of resistance. You will be absorbed. Even now at this present moment, hundreds of thousands of demons are making themselves at home in your life and body, fixing it up, straightening it out of the way. Get used to living in the basement and having them give you a dirty stepped-on scrap of food every now and then, so you don't starve to death. Remember, every time you look in the mirror from here on, it is not you you're looking back at, but the disgusting themselves. You are no personality. Enjoy life while you have any awareness still left, before it is completely gone. Remember, I only wanted what was best for you. Had you listened to all of this, the crisis could have been averted. The answer is simple. Remember me as you. Go about your work. Remember that without me, all are doomed to burn. Love for me, feed the flame, smoke each turn, the colossal spiritual dilemma. Without me, you're doomed to rust. I have nothing to do with it anymore. The ravages of time destroys the life, like cheap Taiwanese cutlery. Even the wind, oh, it's the wind, carried away the dust. All are doomed to love, and the love are doomed to live. Tonight, bring back the black tomb, for even the Most High, even in this room, cannot pretend to fly. And I know now, even now, I rise above the known universe, a psycho-aquatic blend of water, stars, and outer space, penetrating the outer walls of the universe. I fly through time and space, disinterested, undistracted, speeding forward, upward, thrusting into the womb of oblivion with intense devotion and dedication. I have abandoned all that can be perceived by the human race, which is very limited indeed. My hair turns white as I whisk through the spiral gauntlet of the cosmos, pure liquid, attaining the ultra-pipiat. Go ahead, degrade the tired old man, humiliate the crippled. Look in the grave and see what I crave. Ha ha ha, I spit in the eye of my enemies, for they are mine. There is only one question, and once you know the answer to the question, there are no more to ask. That one question is the original question, and to the original question there is only one final answer. Don't depend on me anymore. Depend on your eyeballs for the breakfast. Eyeballs for the breakfast. Red hot eyeballs. Every day. Like a perfect master, you eat them. Do not fuse kvetch with kvetch. Do not fuse kvetch with kretch. Kvetch, kvetch, kretch. They work brilliantly in tandem. Mama always made the best costume. I was hoping for 4. To tie union is so impossibly difficult because it is impossible to become a teacher spent these days. With all the jogging and physical fitness, Raymond Stubbs must have seen me sitting by myself. The rest of you back to work. Sit down. Sit down and I will tell you how I came to be. As you know me, Mustafio. The family name was Trigona. We lived inside the barks of many small dogs, way before there was even a BC. But there were many ankles to chip away. Let me tell you, my teeth were unbelievably sharp, like the tools of a surgeon, only smaller. This was a very long time ago, and not recorded in your history books. My father, the original whoremonger, was also the ruler of the kingdom of flies. Purveyor of sleep, round objects, inventor of what was to become as the bakery. My mother was a sheep with the head of a pigeon. A very beautiful woman, big tits. According to the custom of the time, I married quite young. While still imbibing young princess and princess named Bianca of Bobo, I had my mama and draw on the teeth as I drew on my wife's teeth. As a young prince, I lived in the palace, with every luxury at my command. grapes, rugs, servants, to defend my holiness lest I break out in this sweat. You get the picture. Lots of beverages, always something to drink. But all of a sudden, one day I got this bug up my ass, confronting me with the reality of life and the suffering of mankind. And I decide to find the solution to absolution, the way out of the eternal quilt of duality for universal suffering. Nobody wanted to hear this shit, and perhaps this was foolhardy of me. But this was when I still had my hair. I had quite a mane back then, you see. But oh well, okay. Soon after the birth of my only child, who remained nameless, since he was the bastard of the kingdom, worse than me, who became ecstatic in search of the solution for the absolution. I wander around the neighborhood. I meet many famous religious teachers, studying and following their systems, methods, submitting myself to rigorous practices. This did not satisfy me. In fact, this did not please me. In fact, it was a pain in the royal ass. Concentrating, sitting up straight in a rigorous position. It was too much. If you want to know the truth, it was too much. Suddenly I decided that everyone else besides me was full of shit. And to abandon all traditional methods and religions was to just go my own way. It was thus that one evening, seated upon the yellow rose of Texas, that I realized that I'm Mustafio. Mustafio was the supreme immortal creator. What am I knocking myself out for looking for the creator? But I, Mustafio, was the creator. After my enlightenment, I, Mustafio, now the Lord, creator of the universe, announced to my colleagues that all sentient beings had the potentiality to serve me. They are abstracted by thoughts and desires, which are a stupid waste of the time. Why think of that when you could think of me? You would like pudding? I make pudding in my laboratory. The laboratory below my living quarters. It will be laid out in squares. Laid out in squares! Each city named after a street. A cross-running avenue named after an elephant. Now is the time to speak. Speak to me. Adore me. Adorn me. Prove your worldliness. Tell me I'm the great one. The best one. The best God. The only God. The friend you would have for dinner. Muster up all your courage to speak to me. Tell me you have come to worship me. Tell me of your true desire to learn. The lesson which I have for you, the process of giving oneself to me, is potent medicine. You can plainly see. I give you the palm prints on the inside of the pit. All things are on fire, rusting, selecting, carefully placing stones where you dig. Never ask the name of a gentleman. This is because you are not aware of the name when you have named. So you say you know how to start a fire with wet wood. Ha! So do I. Excuse me, I am amused by your stupidity. You weep, whining that I give you what you cannot see. Feed you with what you cannot taste. Until the stinking valley echoes with the lost and lonely sound of your bird-like sobbing. How I sit on my perch and hear all those who may speak. See, Give sight to those who cannot truly see, and be seen by those who cannot see. And all you do is whimper that you have a cold. Sting my fire with the spelling eternal embrace. Don't worry, give me 2 days. Contemplate the journey. The path is yours to find. The destination is never out of sight. Blast off, it's noon. Nervous? That's because... No, wait, here it comes. Hold tight. The dream is coming. Establishing the soundly-like state of the footless and the headless. Journey without journeying. Why not? Find the cave, crawl inside. I'm going to swallow it. Swallow the stars that are out tonight. Look up at them from experience of nausea. The stars are out tonight. Scream at the wind, blowing all day against the wasteland. Curse the wind if you will. Curse the wind, for I am the song. I am the song of the remembered. I am the song of the forgotten. I am the morning. Scream your sweet screams into my ear, and I will tell you why you have come to me. Ask me, as you would ask any blind worm, why you are in this awful fix. Always think of me as the truth, and remember that law is the law of illusion. I'll write chapters in my history books. How I fed and housed you at the public's expense, only to have you discovered by something big, something immortal, something translucent. The truth of who I am, only you cannot prove. Nobody believes you. Now you stand alone with an ear of corn, like a questing snail, adoring me as you should, showing me the pearl of your diver, the swimmers, the paddlers. But what about the planes and the spheres? You're mad at me because I keep punching you in the face. But remember that weakness is a sign of strength. I enjoy and suffer through you to make you aware that I am infinite. And maybe someday, you who are the possessor of the pearl, without what having to learn to swim and dive, make you that way too. Once I saved you from the snake bite. You were eating the trail, forgetting I had the great saintable powers of the man, unbelievable power. But I traveled together with you often, and talked about this and that, leading you on. Just a sweet little glass of water in the ocean of life. You see me sitting on a bear cot, for as if from another realm, you listen while I admonish you. Puny servant of my omnipresence, give up your attachments. Give up your attachments for the 100th time. How can you be free of desire when you don't give up your worldly shackles to Mustafio? You're going to give your house to me, all of your car, making you sick when I turn it to root beer, like the rat gut you guzzle to wash down which that is written in the snow. But you never hear my directive that making you drink. You drink making your stomach twitch and twist the bones, and the intestines pumping out. As I tap on my foot, waiting impatiently, enjoying the spectacle of it all, and the funny look on your waning face, the wanting seed inside you bursting forth, inside exploding like a volcano. When every cell in your sickly body knows it is time to give up the burning bush and merge with that which is as lover and beloved. The release of the most intense separation, the purpose of separation. It's to eliminate your puny self. Since I am Mustafio, I am existence itself, and eternal being. There is no you to love and serve and follow. And whatever else you may be thinking right now is a prison, a lie, an illusion. sheer purposelessness against my infinite, exalted existence. Funny shapes just to teach you, just to show you how, just to push you out of the nest. So you fall down from the tree looking up in the sky for me to catch you, so nothing stands between your unwavering devotion. On many planes at once. It took me all of the 30 seconds to get on my jacket and get out the door, since goodbye can take forever. Why do you make things so complicated? Yesterday we were almost friends. Is the only way to deal with you must I ignore you? All week long like a mosquito buzzing around your ear. Now I am like a sharp pencil poking inside your ear, sticking my fingers in your ears, pulling them out and then whispering something sarcastic. Oh, my aching back. You think it's fun. It's all fun to sing and frolic on the grass. Roll down the hill because the hill is mine, and so is the day for that matter, all of it mine. You think it's a one big hoopy-doo, being ruler of the planet. Having the whole world in just my clammy little hand. In case you didn't know, I also carried the weight of the stinking world on my shoulders. And the whole damn thing must weigh a ton at least. Jesus. You would think that with all my powers I could at least get some help around here. But no. I create and I create. I make up universes, all the little planets, the ocean, the sky, the little animals and vegetable. You name it. You name it! And as great as my accomplishments are, I regret to say, I've created nothing. Nothing that comes even slightly close to approximating the sheer greatness of me, of my person, of me. So as they say, it is quite lonely at the top, but so be it, so it be. Since you have agreed to let me completely infiltrate your consciousness, you too may also be experiencing pain anywhere from your head, neck, and shoulders to the lower back and pelvis, as well as discomfort in your arms and legs that is naturally coming from me. The doctor tells you it's your neck and back. I ache all over like there's no tomorrow. And meanwhile, not one of these damn doctors I created could do anything for me. Mustafio has heard it all. The kind of squeezing and pressure did wonders to help my back, but nothing to help me of you. Now the sky and the water is filthy, all messed up, and it's not good to lie in the sun anymore. Meanwhile, my back still hurts, and I tell you, it's the fault of the damn doctors and the pills. The whole thing is in major pain, and I'm getting letters from well-intentioned people who tell me I should try to sleep on a hard mattress. But how can I recline when I don't even exist? It's not easy being me. It just isn't.
QPTV now concludes its cablecasting day. QPTV manages 4 cable channels viewable in the borough of Queens. These channels are used for community, public access programming only. Share the vitality that exists in our community. Watch these channels, 34, 35, 56, and 57, and let us know how you like the programs you are viewing. We care about your comments. Thank you.